my gosh, this exhaust is insane. Hey guys, so welcome back. So in this video, as you can read in the title, my Fabspeed exhaust came in from my Porsche Cayman S, and I'm super excited. So here my garage has got my Cayman kind of turned sideways because I need to take off both of these back wheels in order to access the exhaust, and then I got to jack up the entire, well, jack it up, then take the wheels off, but you get the point. So in order to make this work, I had to put my car sideways because when it's parked against the wall, there's not enough room to take off the other wheel. So here, there's plenty of room. Got everything I need. But the part that you're probably waiting on is right here. This is the Fabspeed Supercup Race Exhaust. And so as you can see, this is the cat back, so the cats connect right before this. There's also no mufflers, just a small resonator on each side. And I went with the carbon fiber exhaust tips. And as you can see right here, engraved, it actually says Fabspeed on each side. And then Fabspeed, if you don't know, is made in the USA. Alright, so before I actually do the install of the exhaust, obviously there's a bunch of prep work. There's stickers actually on each piece telling you exactly where they go in the car. So I went ahead and I put all of the pieces, kind of just set them together. So I gotta get the stickers off, gotta clean it up. This is absolutely beautiful. And if anybody from Fabspeed is watching, the carbon fiber tips look absolutely sick. Like, I love these so much. It turned out way better than I expected. And also when I was jacking up, let me just go ahead and show you the hard points now because I didn't want to interfere with anything. I wanted to focus on what I needed to get done and do it safe, and then I can show you exactly how I did it. Alright, so as you can see, there's this little triangle right here that shows you exactly where the hard point is. It's actually like a big giant, kind of like a square that's sitting on. But I actually had the jack sitting right here, actually a bolt right there. I had the jack lift up here so that I could actually put the jack stand here and do that on both sides. And also because safety is the #1 priority. So because of safety, I actually have these rubber chocks in front of the front tires just so that the whole entire car can't slide forward. Alright, so now that I have one tire off, you can actually see exactly where the exhaust is. So right here, there's 2 bolts, one on either side. And then the exhaust pretty much goes up and down into the muffler. So whenever we go take the exhaust apart, it's going to be this bolt right here and then one just right here on this other side. And then there's a little bracket that's actually right there that we're going to have to work. But while we're sitting right here, you can actually see that this is the catalytic converter and then where the catback exhaust mounts to. And then right in front of the cats is actually the headers that go right up into the engine. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take off this other rear wheel. And then once I do that, I'm going to be able to actually get up underneath it and start unbolting and taking out the old exhaust. Alright, so now that I have both of the rear tires off, at some point before I come back on, I'm definitely going to clean the backside because if you look, you can definitely see there's a lot of dirt and grime on the back. The drum itself is actually somewhat clean. Alright, so now I got both of the back wheels off. I noticed that this side is actually turned a little bit different. It kind of comes down at a tighter angle right here and then cuts over. But it's still the same exact thing. There's just one bolt on each side. And then there's this little bracket sitting right here that you can kind of see. There's a bolt there. I think there's another one, but we'll definitely see when you get up underneath. Alright, so now that we're underneath the car, that actually looks like there's only one bolt holding it on. So looks like just the 2 bolts the 2 bolts up here where it connects to the cat, and then the one right here on each side. But you can see this is the old exhaust. It's actually pretty dirty, it's very basic, and it's a huge muffler. Oh, and also while I'm here, while it's on my mind, I'll go ahead and show you, if you ever need to do an oil change in a Cayman, this right here is the bolt that you will unscrew that all the oil will then leak out of. Alright, so the order I'm going to do all of this in is I'm going to actually loosen these 2 bolts, and I'm going to do that on both sides, and then I'm going to come up and I'm going to loosen and take off the brackets while supporting the exhaust. And then once I wobble it a little bit, then I'm going to come back, I'm going to finish these off, and then I'm going to drop the entire exhaust down and kind of like, well, up and down and out. Alright, and as you can see, this is actually pretty rusted. Alright, so now that I have the 2 bolts loosened here on each side, what I'm going to do is get underneath the car and loosen these brackets, and then hopefully we can get the exhaust to kind of drop down, and then we can kind of like wiggle it out of place and then out of the back of the car. You can see that the screw that we need to take off is like this weird little hex thing. But what I found out is actually a 3/8 fits perfectly over that. So I'm going to go ahead and take these off. Yeah, you can definitely see how rusted that is on the tip there. Just separate this a little bit. And there we go. Alright, so as you see, I can raise up with my knee, and the entire exhaust is now loose. And actually the way it's sitting on these brackets, it actually holds itself up, so you really don't have to be underneath it catching it. Whereas the older Porsche Caymans, you did have to be there to catch it, because the way the bracket's mounted, it didn't sit like this. Alright, so one of the things I'm going to go ahead and do, which is probably how you should do it, so on the very back in the middle where the exhaust tips come out, there's these 2 bolts. So I'm going to take those 2 bolts off of those brackets, and that's going to make this middle section actually kind of loose. And then up on top of here, there's 2 more bolts, and that little horizontal pipe goes across. I'm going to loosen those to make everything nice and wobbly, so then it's able to actually slip right out, and I can take it out of the car. Alright, so it took a lot of work to get these off, but both these nuts that came off here actually is super like rusted on there. But I got both these little brackets loose, so now I just need to get up above and get those 2 off. Alright, since this bracket is being very stubborn and it won't come off at all, what I've done is actually moved this bracket up here off to the side, so the top is completely disconnected, as you can see. And this one I'm just trying to muscle it apart, and I'm hoping that once I get this off, then I might be able to loosen that a bit and then get this exhaust tip section out of here, and then I can pull off each side individually. Alright, so now we got the exhaust out. So you see we're connected there, now it's empty, and then these are the brackets that it was sitting on. Alright, so now I got the old exhaust out of the car. You can kind of see a comparison to the new one. So you see the mufflers are absolutely giant compared to the new resignators. Yeah, this will definitely sound significantly better. But make sure before you put the new exhaust on, there's these little gaskets. You're going to pull these off each side. And they actually come with brand new ones that you're then just going to slip right onto where the old ones were. Alright, so now they have each side put up there. You can kind of see it coming out right there, sitting on the little bracket. So I'm going to take both sides with the resignators and then the exhaust tips hanging down in the middle. I'm going to put all that in place, and then I'm going to tighten up each one and then I'm going to have it tighten onto the catalytic converter, and then I'll be able to turn up the exhaust tips and then adjust them to be able to sit exactly how I want them. Now I have both resignators on, I'm going to go ahead and attach the central piece that connects the two, and then it'll be able to hold it up. There we go. Now it's up in the car. So what I'll do is I'll actually come over here and tighten down these brackets on either side. Alright, so now that I have the entire exhaust in the car, as you can see this hanging down, I'll put that up and adjust it later. But I'm going to go ahead and take this bracket and I'm going to just essentially open it up and slide it down so that it sits on top of this little plate that the exhaust rests on. Alright, so I got this bracket on here, got it turned a little bit so that this is up out of the way. I tightened it a little bit, but not all the way, because I want to make sure I have everything in place first before I actually make everything nice tight. Alright, so now I've got these brackets attached. They're kind of just snug, but not all the way tight. So now I'm going to go ahead and tighten down the connections on each side at the catalytic converters. And then I'll go back through and tighten down these brackets a little bit more, get the exhaust tips adjusted to where I want them. Once I do that, then I just get pretty much everything tightened all the way around. And then I'll just tweak the exhaust tips to exactly what placement I want. Alright, so now I'm at the point where I'm just pretty much tightening down each side. And so I can get this all nice and snug. Alright, so now that I got it bolted down on each side, these brackets are still kind of tight. I'm going to go ahead and tighten these ones down a little bit, and they're going to hold the resignators to the exhaust tips. Alright, so now I've got the brackets tightened on both sides here. Now all I have to do is pretty much adjust the exhaust tips to the exact angle I want. And then once I do that, I'm going to loosen these a bit, and then adjust the carbon fiber tips so that they can actually be sticking out a little bit and not back behind the plastic bumper. Yeah, right now I'm actually tightening down the little brackets that hold the X-pipe onto the resignators, and then I'll be adjusting these exhaust tips. Alright, so I'm actually going to wrap it up right there for the night. It's like 10 something, maybe 10:30. I got an early morning, but I pretty much got everything installed. Hey guys, so it's the next morning and I'm back out here in the garage trying to get this finished up so I can get the Cayman back on the road. Right now all I have to do is pretty much get these rear wheels cleaned. I'm going to make sure everything is nice and tight so that I can actually drive it safely, have nothing fall off or rattle. Then I just got to, because as you probably noticed, this car is like diagonal in my garage, and I have this little center post because it's two individual garage doors, which is amazing for privacy. However, trying to work on cars, I got to get it sideways. I got to do probably like a 30-point turn just to get it out, but it'll happen and it'll sound amazing. Alright, so just got everything completely installed. I went back through and I kind of tweaked it, kind of loosened up the exhaust again, kind of moved it around a little bit to exactly where I needed it to be. So all I have to do is adjust the exhaust tips. As you see, they're just kind of like, that one's sitting back, whatever. So I just need to adjust those to where they're even. But before I do that, I'm actually going to clean up the rear wheels inside and out. I'm going to put them back on the car. Then I'm going to set it back on the ground. And then I'm going to adjust these to where I want them, because right now it's kind of hard to tell because they kind of look like they're level, but then you see there's this huge gap right here. So I'm going to just put the car back to where it like normally sits, and then I'll be able to adjust the tips based off of how the car normally sits on the ground. Alright, so I'm at the final step. All I have to do now is just get both these exhaust tips kind of adjusted to where I want them so it looks good and even in there, and it'll be done. Alright, so I have the exhaust tips placed exactly how I want them. These things look absolutely amazing. And I love how it says Fabspeed across the top of the stainless steel there. And it has like the nice carbon fiber all the way around it. It's kind of like a free float design. But before we start this up, I just want to look at this beautiful exhaust. And the logo placement is amazing. Because if you look through the wheel right there, you can actually read Fabspeed on the little plate. So without further ado, it's time for the first cold start. Oh my gosh, this thing sounds absolutely insane, and I cannot wait to take it out on the road. So I have a bunch of errands I actually need to run, so I'm going to have to go take care of those, and then I need to maneuver the car out of the garage. I'm probably going to back it up this way and then pull it out that side. But in this video, I will have some footage of driving around and showing you guys exactly what it sounds like on the road. But this is absolutely amazing. So definitely go check out Fabspeed. If you have a high-end car, they have like a bunch of different cars to make exhaust for. So definitely go to their website, and they have a selector so you can pick your car, but definitely their exhausts sound amazing. So definitely go check out Fabspeed. I'll actually have a link in the description down below. So definitely go down there, click on the link so you can go to their website and see if they make exhaust for your car, and if they do, I highly suggest getting it. Alright, so just sitting in the car itself, I can already notice a huge difference. I love it. I absolutely love this thing. It sounds amazing. Oh, I cannot wait to get on the road, which I'm actually doing right now. Windows down. Oh my gosh. We're going 12 miles per hour, and this sounds amazing. So I was told that after about a month is when it like sounds the best. So I guess once you kind of break it in and everything, it'll sound amazing. But right now that's oh man, it sounds so good. And right now the engine's really cold, so once it all heats up, it's gonna sound crazy. Oh, listen to those burbles. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. Fabspeed, good job guys. Like, this is incredible. And I'm only going 30 miles per hour. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say right now. Okay, now we're into sport mode. Wow! Fabspeed. If you guys have a car that Fabspeed makes exhaust for, definitely do it. This is just a catback, and it sounds crazy. Oh my gosh, this exhaust is insane. Alright guys, so I'm going to end it right there. If you guys like this video, definitely go down, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe, and put down in the comments below what you think of the new Fabspeed catback exhaust I have. It's the Supercup Race Exhaust. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.